Joe, it's quite interesting and a lot of mixed things here in Ghana. Most Ghanaians, not all Ghanaians are privileged enough to have homes. Let me put it that way, to well-gated communities to live in. Some of them live in slums. Some of them live on the street. Some of them have to find a shelter wherever they could find one. You understand? So with this lockdown that came in place 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of confusion. Basically, people didn't understand what the virus was all about, know how serious it was. So with time, it got better because what then now saw that it was a very serious issue, and they decided to adhere to the protocols being given. Obviously, in every community or in every home, there's a mentor. So, um, so
Exactly.
people would just be not. Some are stubborn, and there will be a lot of hate, begging here and there with the police and the military. But one thing I like about Ghanaians is that we learn quickly. Even if you don't understand, we want to know and we learn. So Nanado and his government have done so well. I mean, in this putting this virus in check so far, and they're doing their best. It's very difficult to manage people, managing systems, managing policies, managing finances. That is easy, but managing people is a whole job on its own. So I can say for a fact that even though it's uncomfortable, we are doing our best so far as a country, and I applaud everyone for that, for what we've done so far. Yeah, that's my take on it. But you there, in the UK,
Yeah.
what have been your thoughts um, from what you're observing from outside Ghana?
I mean, I think
What are your thoughts on it?
everybody's expectation was for an extension, and the only question was as
True.
to how long an extension it would be, whether it's going to be less than 3 weeks or more than 3 weeks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it came as a shock
So,
to a lot of people, me inclusive. I was utterly shocked
mhm,
at that
mhm,
announcement. And, it's, I mean, well, they're saying that is the experts that, came about with that decision.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
you realize that all across the globe, various leaders of various nations have been making, differing decisions as to how to handle it. I mean, I know that Sweden, for example, are taking a very, very, very controversial
Yeah.
approach to the whole thing, and they are saying that it's working. They are not doing any lockdown or anything, but they are just adhering to social distancing and I think face masks a little bit. But um, I mean, I know the US, for example, uh, is having a lot
Mhm,
of cases and they haven't had any
mhm,
lockdown. They are just adhering to the social distancing. And the example that I would give to myself is how China and some of the Asian countries also handled it. They had a very strict lockdown
yeah.
measure. So if you ask me, lockdown would still be the
Yeah.
best. But then again, the other argument is about the economy and
Exactly.
people that don't have the luxury of remote work and working from home and still being paid
You
by
know.
their employers for time that they are off and all that, like the traders on the streets, the shoemaker
Yeah.
and then all those people literally they are living hand to mouth, so they'll need to
Yeah.
go to work to survive. And I think the government is not able to do that, to keep up that sustenance for a long time. That is how come I think that decision was made. Yeah, Senior, you were saying something.
So, like I said, not to cut you, but it's good that you actually compared our system to what's happening in the outside world. You understand that with systems, when it comes to such cases, first of all, this is unprecedented in Ghana, such a lockdown of this magnitude to start with. So it's quite difficult, and we are learning as we go. You understand? The systems that are incorporated in Russia and even North Korea cannot be compared to systems incorporated in the US. So they know their population, they know their citizens, they know what systems would work and what policies to put in place to keep them in check. You understand? I would say for a fact that we as a country copied from what we saw that work. which was a lockdown system incorporated by the Chinese. And that's when we lock down, we visit all the areas where people are highly populated. And once we do that, we know that we are arresting the spread of the virus, and we also block infected people from transmitting to other uninfected people in different regions of the country.
Yeah.
So I think that we are basically, as a government or as a people, we are trying systems. We are trying systems. Now we are going to a system where they're taking the lockdown up and they're saying that we should observe social distancing. Okay? And my take on this, I feel like we are trying to see if the system will work much better than the lockdown system and compared to what's happening outside. If they see that it's not working accordingly, I even saw a tweet by the information minister warning Ghanaians that if you do not adhere to social distancing and the spike in infections, there could be a possibility for a total lockdown. That would be a big problem. I mean, we are not ready.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think with those precautionary statements, it's kind of keeping people in check. See, Joe, I let me be frank with you. Nanado has lifted the lockdown. Okay, everyone is free to go anywhere, but you go to the streets and the streets are still empty. Everyone is staying home because they've come to understand that the virus, as we see it, is nothing to joke with. Okay, there were people who were actually saying that even this whole virus thing is a propaganda to dethrone the government, and there's no virus in Ghana and they don't even believe in it. A funny example happened where I went to watching 3 days ago, and I was wearing gloves, I was wearing those masks and everything to protect myself. And the watcher seller was basically just touching stuff with her hand, and she had no nose mask. And I asked her that, Madam, you are selling this stuff and you get in contact with all these people. Don't you want to protect yourself with a nose mask? You know, she told me.
What is that?
She has cooked herself. So, yeah, so no virus can come here. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I smiled and I was like, wow, okay. And this is the safety of a lot of people. You know, I don't blame them because the sensitization is still ongoing. People are so slowly getting to understand the severity of the infection. People are now understanding how the virus actually is transmitted. And once they get the hold of it, once Ghanaians actually understand what is going on, and trust me, I know once they understand what's going on, everyone will fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, so, my issue with that is that with the social distancing, for example, I don't think we're actually really adhering to it that much. Take an example, India, for example. If you look at India and you see, I think some of the images have come in the media, you realize that they're actually strictly adhering to the social distancing in India, at least from what we've seen. So you realize that when Indians go to the marketplace, they have markings on the path or on the road where you're supposed to stand, and basically everybody has to stand, 3 meters away and all that. But we don't see all those things in Ghana because the market women and all that, they are not practicing all those things. And like you said, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians also really don't see the tangibility of a virus. I mean, because a lot of Ghanaians haven't seen people around them getting infected, and they've not really seen images and videos of Ghanaians getting infected. It's like some imaginary the disease that they don't really have an understanding of. Okay, so I think these are some of the issues that we have in our country. That's why I have the opinion that the lockdown measures would be much effective than allowing Ghanaians to go on the streets and do their trading and all that, and tell them to do social distancing and wear face masks, and people won't do it. And I even understand face masks. The prices were inflated, and even to get a face mask, people were paying 300 cedis and a huge amount of money just for face masks and hand sanitizers and all that. So I mean, to imagine somebody who does the hand to mouth thing as we were talking about, how is that person going to buy those protective equipment?
Joe, very sad that you actually brought up this topic. It's unfortunate that people are actually cashing in on this unfortunate incident. You notice that it's just not nose mask and hand sanitizer has gone up. Even food items have spiked up seriously because of this pandemic. Um, like you said, the people who are on the street who can afford face masks and nose masks and gloves and other things, how do they survive? The government are trying their best to provide food, but I think that, in my opinion, if you're trying to protect the less privileged in society, you need to provide at least some PPE to protect them as well. Even
Yeah.
with the food, it's again, like I said, systems take time. Okay, they're trying to do a good, I'm good, but they're actually um, breaking the social distancing that we are always preaching about because people literally jump on cars just to get free food. It's a problem, not just to the people around, but even to their health and their personality as well. Um, Even when the lockdown was lifted, there was a lot of bickering here and there. A lot of people had different opinions, and people were really alarmed. It's a problem because we are at a point where our infection rate has increased. As I speak to you today, we have 1,154 positive cases. As I speak to you now.
Yeah.
Now, it makes sense that if you're going to lift a lockdown, the infectivity curve has, but we are at peak,
Yeah.
and the lockdown has been lifted. So people are raising a concern that it's true we've seen some positive cases. We don't know who else is symptomatic or asymptomatic, who is scared to come out, because you have situations where people are running away from quarantine camps. I put in parentheses. Why they're running away, we don't know. They've been explained to the dangers they are putting other people in if they run away. We don't know. As to if they've been caught, we don't know. You understand? There have been a case where in the northern region, a lady from Guinea scaled a wall inside a apartment, got hurt, wounded everything, and ran away. So now, we don't know if the lady has been apprehended or not.
That's serious.
Two gentlemen from Old Padama in Accra has also escaped from when they tested positive because they were scared. I'm pretty sure that if they understood the dangers of them running away and infecting their loved ones, they would have considered better. I do not know. I do not know what was being told to them. I do not know the approach that was given to them. But I think a lot more sensitization needs to be done to the local citizens, not the elite, because the elite have TVs, radios, internet, and everything. But what about the local population who don't have access to these technology
Exactly.
equipment? What's going on? They don't even know what's going on in the US. They don't see people dying on TV. They don't know what COVID-19 is.
Yeah.
All they know is Corona. Oh, yes, Corona.
Colonia.
Colonia. You hear coronavirus. You hear Rolly. You hear all kinds of funny names. A lot of people are concerned. I mean, when you go to a market, you see local women. I mean, local market women actually wanting to know how they can protect themselves, and some even result in using expectation because they don't have access to alcohol because they don't have expectation as alcohol. So at least when they use that to wash their hands, they're fine. It's a problem. They're really willing to adhere, but they don't know what to do. And it's good that we are sensitizing, speaking in local languages on TV. But then the question again is, how many people have access to electricity, to watch television, to know what is going on?
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Even see, let's not be quick to assume that once you're a health staff or health facilitator or you are in the health sector, you should know how to use the PPE. Correct education on how to wear PPE is very necessary in order not to contaminate yourself.
Exactly.
Even when the Ebola in Liberia, there are a lot of deaths to health personnel because of the inappropriate use of PPE. And that's very important. You don't take off your gloves before taking off everything else. You need to know the correct sequence in order to take off your PPE so that you not be a danger to the environment and not a danger to yourself. These are the kind of education that needs to be given to the common population in order for everyone else to adhere to it and be safe. But if you use force, and you tell me that you're sitting up here, they say stay home, and you're not staying home. So we'll lash you, we'll punish you, you kneel down the whole day. When I leave, you also leave. When you sit on the floor, I mean, it's true that you're keeping a person home, but the
Yeah.
person still doesn't understand what exactly is going on. Why am I being locked at home? Why am I still where I am? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
it's sad that you'll lift up a lockdown and people will be having parties, jubilating in the streets as
Hmm.
if they've been in prison. I mean, you know, that's clear to tell you that they don't understand what exactly is going on in the country and they need to be educated accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to say, I mean, it's something I've been telling my friends about. When it comes to the timing of the implementation of certain measures, right? And in reaction to people
Yeah.
saying that the lockdown should have been done much earlier, I have the opinion that the timing has to be as close as possible to the peak, right, of your infections. Otherwise, if you lock down too early and your population gets stressed out or tired, or your
Uh,
economy is not able to sustain the lockdown measures for that long, then it means that it wouldn't be that effective. Do you get that?
uh, yeah, but I beg to differ on that point.
Yeah, sure.
You know, in ideal systems, in ideal cases, once we knew that the infection was near our borders,
Mm-hmm.
we should have closed the borders. That's that's the sentiment of every Ghanaian. Okay, that why did we have to wait for two cases, imported cases, to get into the country before we started taking measures? Okay, I have to pretend to know what the government is doing, but I'm pretty sure that at some point when they saw that we're in danger of being infected, then they started putting in place policies. This is a case where Ebola was in Liberia and it spread to other countries. We did not close our borders because we had the opinion that we could not get Ebola in Ghana. At that point, health professionals were actually advocating that we should close our borders to prevent any spread into our country.
Yeah.
We are of the opinion that as Ghanaians, you know that, oh, Ghana dear, Ebola and Timbaha, Ghana dear, Ebola cannot come to this country. So that I want to believe that's the same idea, or should I say mentality, that we had until we knew that, oh, it is truly among us and these people have been exposed to people. Then it got real. We should not be quick to disregard that we are people of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we believe in hearts, we believe in handshakes, we believe in um, getting to know people better through social gatherings and all that. That is why it's making it very difficult for us to adhere to social distancing. On the case of the curve, the infectivity curve,
Yeah.
ideally, once you have, from what I've read and what I know,
Mm-hmm.
when your infectivity curve is flattening. When I say flattening, I mean that obviously once the infection starts, it will peak. Okay,
Yeah.
once it picks up and flattens down, then you can start to relax on the measures put in place
Yeah.
by removing
Exactly.
one policy at a time.
Yeah.
Only taking people adjust back to normal way of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's the argument here that we are not even flattening that we are not even at the peak. We don't know what the peak is of the infectivity rate in
Exactly.
Ghana.
Exactly.
But at this, we should, the president has made a comment in his tweet that he's actually thinking about the common Ghanaian because people are complaining of hunger, people are complaining of not having any money, and are begging that they should open shops and work for a while. And if the infection should go up, as a man said on TV3, then they should lock them up again. I understand that the government is thinking about the people as well, but we need to be careful not to use compassion to let this virus spread out of control. So it's a balance. I mean, it's a very great area, and we don't know what policy is the best for you. Hoping that it doesn't go against us in any way as the population.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I agree with you, on that point of, the curve and managing the cases as you go along time,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, and I think I
Mhm.
told a couple of my friends about that. We have no idea whether we've gotten to the peak of the cases yet. We don't know what, because
Exactly.
the curve is progressive. So if we are releasing measures now, then
Yeah,
it
yeah,
means that obviously it has a higher tendency of continuing in that exponential growth. Um,
that's what
because
we hope it's there.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, and that's what we really want to avoid, because I think the numbers that we've been experiencing, it has been exponential, but it's on the lower side because we are in the earlier stage of this, right? So once we get to the latter stage of
yeah.
exponential growth, then it gets very, very bad, right? After after a couple of weeks
It's
of serious
yeah.
exponential growth, then your numbers start going into the tens of thousands, starts going into the hundreds of thousands, and it's difficult to control at that point.
We hope yeah, we hope we don't get
Yes.
there. We hope hope that it doesn't get to that. We hope it doesn't get to that.
Yeah, that is what every Ghanaian will be praying for and hoping for. So we're hoping for the best, yeah. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining in the show today. Don't forget to like Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified anytime I come online on the live stream. And I'll see you guys again next week, same time, same place. Peace. Have a good evening, everyone.